Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome to our live stream. We're so happy to be here with you, and yeah, we're pretty clueless about the future, but we are happy now. And we get to talk about Jesus tonight. I think we were born to talk about Jesus. Maybe that was the only purpose we were born for, and so we're very happy to be talking about the present moment. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, and take no thought for tomorrow, and the joy of living this way, a life of trust. So we've got a nice topic for you tonight. Jesus, gospel of love.
The gospel of
The
love.
gospel of love.
It's pretty exciting because I remember when we were actually in the very beginning stages of just in the prayer about how this was going to happen. And you mentioned, Francis, you said, everything that I'm hearing, it's like when I'm reading all the scriptures and all the deep teachings, this really just feels like a gospel of love. And I said, oh my word, I said, that feels like the Spirit giving that to us because, all of Jesus' teachings are really the depth of the gospel of love. And now we have the Mystical Christ Academy that, has been born out of that. And right now we're right in I think at the tail end of our pilot program, which has been really just, we've been hearing all these rave reviews, just really this platform for us to all be in that celebration of Jesus together. And all the great tools and all of the great things that, this library of tools and retreats and all kinds of things and these interactions that Jesus is bringing together for us to really just celebrate and be in fellowship together with, just all these great tools. So I feel very excited. I've been part of it from the beginning and watching people raising their hands and people showing up just wanting to be part of it and just watching this whole thing bloom. Yeah,
it's just the Spirit is doing it through us, and even modern day teachers like Eckhart Tolle are talking about Jesus was a teacher of presence, and maybe 2,000 years ago, the presence seemed radical to the world. The teachings seem radical, and some may say that would seem to be the case today, but actually I think what our discovery is when you dive into it, when you fully dive into it, it's actually not radical. It's actually natural. It's just like the Beatles said in their All You Need Is Love. It's easy. It actually is easier. It's easier to just relax and be carried in the flow of the present moment and this presence than it is and to do anything else. It's more difficult to plan. It's more difficult to analyze. It's more difficult to compare. It's more difficult to try to categorize or to try to make your way or fix it or any of those things. And it's actually easy to just watch what is there in front of you and just behold it as if you're beholding it for the very first time. And there's no personal control. There's no sense of control with it. So we were laughing on our way over that it was so easy, and it also is just so natural. We're just watching what's happening.
Yeah, I think I always loved when I read or hear this phrase that you have taught the world what you are, but you have never let the world to teach you who you are. It's like such a reversal of, this idea of I already know I need to do, plan, get things done. But it's like I have never let it to have the space to show me. And what does that mean? Like to have the to have the eyes be open to say, okay, what if everything is going to show me something? What if the Spirit and the Christ is actually here to teach me something? So do I have the the space, the presence to actually be able to step back and see what is that actually it wants to show me. And yesterday we had a call with this friend who had been joined with us like 10, 12 years ago, and he said, I'd love to come to be in service, but I really want to undo being the doer anymore. And we all celebrated. We said, that's our shared prayer. Come here and not be a doer. Let's just join in it together and see how this plan gonna unfold. And he's like, oh my God, I can't believe that we can really, really celebrate in this collaboration and say we're just not gonna, we don't know, and we can let it show us. So I think this is just such a dear topic because it's so deep. I feel it's so dear to my heart that, oh my God, I want to see, above all else, I want to see what is it revealing to me. Not presuming I already know, not presuming that every day is the same old, going through the motions, but it's fresh, it's alive, and it's through everything that is gonna reveal some deep love, and this is a gospel love to us every day. Yeah.
It's beautiful because I've just been thinking about the word purpose, and that's, I feel like this purpose is really that prayer, to remember God and to be in the prayer, to be shown. And that's what I feel that this, gospel of love is. It's come out of this prayer to be shown, for people to say yes to God and really just step in without really knowing, and knowing that the only thing that they have is that prayer, and like the relationship with God, using that as our relationship to remember God, to remember the Holy Spirit too. I know for me over the years, I've been in these situations where, not knowing, but it's like somehow, some way in that, I always say about the not knowing, it's like, I wouldn't be in this situation if I wouldn't be, like, Jesus isn't going to throw us on our head. He's going to show us, and things will be revealed all for me, that it's always my lesson, that and it's this development of trust through all of this, that I will constantly be shown the way, and that I don't need to know, and to step back and just, I don't know, it's just such an honor to have these new experiences, just to practice that and have that as our sole purpose. I remember in the very beginning, we have a bunch of people that are going to speak, but one of the main things, like we, have this beautiful young group of people here, and they were saying that, that purpose, like finding a purpose for their life, is one of the most important things, to find that there's a purpose, that their life has meaning, that everything that we're doing, is just to remember the relationship with God, not really any other purpose, but how that brings us such joy to know, that God is with us and that He will show us the way. I know even the different people that are going to come up here and speak, I've been praying with them, joining with them, and every one of them in the beginning says, I have no idea how this is going to happen. I have no idea. And I said that, and neither do I. And today, just sitting here, just knowing just how beautiful this is all turning out before us, none of us knew, that a book would be done, and just all this great material, and just everybody being in this surge of purpose, really, and just seeing the beauty that's coming out of all of it. And then it's not, when I'm healed, I'm not healed alone, that it's for everyone, all these people showing up that want to be part of it. They want to hear, and just really, people are eager to hear, how we live, even, because this isn't just once and done. This is our life for many, many years. It's practical application of the course, using this world now just to heal our mind, that we're really just using it to look at those thoughts of doubt and fear and unworthiness and shame, and really using everything, even the thoughts of responsibility, thinking that I'm responsible. And it is really just the call, again, to remember that, to ask the Holy Spirit, I'm willing, Holy Spirit, I'm going to look at those beliefs. I want to look at those fears and open up, really just to heal my mind and watch the miracles happen.
Yeah. It's just about present joy. It's not about producing something. It's not about an outcome in form. It's not about a future. It's just quite simply about present joy. And what's so beautiful about that is that these are the teachings of Jesus. Even 2,000 years ago, he said, take no thought for the morrow. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, meaning it's very close. He was just introducing into a realm of seeming linear time and space and darkness. He was introducing present joy. Dance for the Lord. Be happy and joyful. You got lots to dance for. You should be dancing. That was a Bee Gees song. Should be dancing, yeah. That's what Jesus was showing up to say. You should be dancing because you have great joy. You have a creator that loves you. The Beatles said it, all you need is love. And I think many of us were raised with, we at some point in our lives, we kind of got into love, love, love. And then we were told things like, well, you can't live on love. And Jesus is teaching you can. They were saying you can't live on love. Like there's all these other things you have to do. But Jesus is saying, God is love. God is life. When your mind is aligned with God, you are that love, and you are living on love. They said man does not live on bread alone. Jesus would tell us, there's manna from heaven. There's so much joy in that alignment with God that you could literally live. That's what I've seen over the years. My appetites are leaving. They tried to get me to eat today, but I was not buying it. I have absolutely... before I left, he had this soup. Can you? No, wave it off, wave it off, wave it off, wave it off, wave it off. I'm intoxicated. I'm drunk on the Lord, and we're going to talk about Jesus tonight. My favorite topic. The movie is at the theaters right now. It's called Jesus Revolution, and we are smack dab right this moment in the Jesus Revolution. This is it. This is it, the joy of the moment. And then your appetites start to go away. The things that you thought you needed, the thought you wanted, they're drying up, they're drying up. For me, they're gone. They're really gone. It's like, I don't want that, no. This is everything. We were raised to believe that we're a body in time and space, and as long as you identify with the body, then you identify with the doer. And then it's never enough. Did I do enough? Did I do enough? Are you happy? Did I do enough? Is that good enough for you? Did I do enough? It's all do. What have you done lately? What's your resume? What's your credentials? What can you show me? Do. And there was a song, I don't know, years ago called Strangers in the Night. And but I like it when they get to the part doobie-doobie-doo. Do and be. Hear it? Doobie-doobie-doo. Do-doobie-doo-doo. You have to get to the B. You have to let go of the doobie-doobie-doos because it's a split mind that thinks it's doing something. I'll tell you right now, you have never, ever done anything wrong, ever, and you have not done anything right either. You've never done anything right and have never done anything wrong. If you feel the joy of that, you feel the joy of the present moment, because Jesus teaches us that, that in no single instant does the body exist at all. It's always remembered or anticipated. Do you hear it? Remembered or anticipated, past or future. It's just linear thinking. That's the problem. It's just hypothetical linear thinking. Things could be different. I wish things were different. I wish I was a better doer. I wish I hadn't done those things. I wish I could take back those things. Guilt, 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 guilt. Or future. Plans, 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 plans for the future, and there really is no future. You know, you start to really have the experience. The people say, why do they call them human beings? They should call them human doings. It's more accurate in this world to call people human doers, human doings, because the being part has been lopped off, and human beings is trying to put two different realms. Being is of the present moment, the human part is of the linear time, the belief system in time. So for me, I think this is the Jesus revolution. And I love that movie, but we don't have to even talk about who are the hippies and who are the square conservative ones. There are no hippies or square conservative ones either in the present moment. You don't have to come out of something that you never were, you just have to really trust. And even this weekend we're going to have a movie which is going to be strong. It's going to be a strong movie of presence, presence, presence. Follow, pray, listen, follow. Any other options? No. Pray, listen, follow, feel the joy, feel the joy, feel the joy, and don't get caught up into the mechanisms of time. So, and here we have a night to talk about how even this Jesus Gospel of Love, which is basically just giving the core teachings of Jesus, but more than that, it's the living presence of Jesus. It's the practicality. I don't think Jesus' teachings are really radical. Only when you would hold them up against some false standard would you think that they were radical. I think they're absolutely natural. I feel like this present moment in trust and present trust and joy is really what's offered to us. You know, it's like the solution, it's the correction, and we don't need to analyze the problem. We're not interested. I'm not really interested in history. My mother was a history teacher, but I was named after David in the Bible, and I'm ready to sing a joyful song to the Lord, the Psalms. You know, I was named after a poet and a singer. And I'm finally getting fully into the joy of the singing. Doobie-doobie-doo. You hear it. Doobie-doobie-doo. You know, that's a split mind. Doobie-doobie-doo. You know, you have to get to the bee-bee-bee-bee, bing. Got it. So we have to talk about, we actually, for people who go to the-christ.net, there's a taster. Isn't it like a day taster people get? And then there's a pilot course, which we were thinking, I guess, is it all recorded? Could this?
Yeah, it's all been recorded.
It's all been recorded.
It's happening right now, but it'll probably be available to continuing.
Yeah, it'd be available. Taster, pilot, and then the mystical 8-week
Mystical Christ Academy.
Mystical Christ Academy. So
that starts April 5th, I think. Is that
Yeah.
April 5th is when we launch our first 8-week program.
yeah, and then the ones we're going to hear come up and be in these beautiful stools. I like it.
We went all out.
Yeah, we're bringing it all in.
I feel like I'm on the dating game or something. You know what I mean?
Bachelor
Number
number
one.
Bachelorette number one. How are you healing your mind? Bachelor number one. Move to number 3. No, okay, let's see. But that's good, because this is more, again, it's the practical experience, though. It's the practical, how has this backdrop of working on the gospel of love been healing for your mind? How has it helped you open your heart up? How practical is it? It's not an outcome or a thing. You know, it sounds like a linear thing, academy, but the joy of the moment is the academy. The joy of the moment is salvation. It's glee. It's everything. But we're going to hear from people that have been pouring their hearts into it, and I think it's like a symphony. You know, Jesus is conducting, and there's a big symphony going on. He's like, oboes and percussion and a little bit here and there, and we're just in the glee of experiencing it. So here we go. What should we do?
I don't know. No, I feel excited. Were you thinking something to do?
You go ahead.
Well, I was thinking maybe we could bring up Eric and Laverne and maybe Linda, because I know they've been the core of the pilot program and the Mystical Christ Academy, and kind of from the very beginning. So I'd like just to bring them up and hear what they have to say.
Great.
Well,
here we are.
And like David's saying, it's more about the practical application and the real experience, because I know I've joined with all of you, and just this present, what you were saying, David, just being in this present, being done through experience that I know that you've had to really, it's been, deep prayer.
Yeah, first, baby, introduce yourself. If you're a Jesus lover, then let's hear it. If you like the present moment, let's hear it. If you like being, let's hear it. And then everything will flow into that.
Yeah, well, we're all three Jesus lovers. I'm Eric.
I'm Laverne.
Linda.
And yeah, we've been collaborating for several weeks or months. I don't even know how long it's been, because the time just seems to fly by, because we're just so immersed in the purpose of letting the Spirit do it through us, and facing a lot of relationship issues with each other too. It's all been for healing. So I know, like Laverne and I, at least once a week, we have a little, like an upset that comes up between us, and then we just express it and move through it.
Call me.
Or with you, yeah. Yeah. It's like we're on a team of, Jesus is just calling us into this experience of letting go of our past, but to go into that, it's like we have to keep getting in touch with our ego self and moving through it. So I don't know, it's intense sometimes, but it's also really beautiful, and I'm just so grateful for the way the relationships get used for this healing of my mind, so I can get closer to God and keep going, get closer to Jesus, get closer to the Spirit, and yeah, amen.
Thank you, Jesus.
Well, yeah, for me, because it was last July, I think, when I first sort of felt this, upliftment from something you said at a retreat, David, about some virtual reality. And I met up with Lisa after, and I said there was something about that term virtual reality that just kind of got my attention, because I've always just had this kind of zeal about tech and cutting edge technology and AI and everything, but I never knew that it was going to lead me to this Jesus, a gospel of love. But what has been so amazing about it is just that, what we've put out there is what we want for this, and what we envision. It's like everything comes up underneath it to support it after we say what we want. The technology has been coming in so rapidly, and then it's just so amazing. Like, oh my God, it's taking care of that for us. It's taking care of that for us. It's taking care of that for us, so that we can be in the presence together. So when we're not in that vibe, that high vibe, we can really feel it. Like, we have to stop whatever we're doing just to move through whatever that block is that we're experiencing. So that's like the impetus to stay in that vibe and to move through things quickly whenever we notice like we're having some difficulties between us. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like it's been a very deep experience for me too, especially with the relationships that have been given. Like Laverne and I have been really joining very, very closely, and Eric, Laverne and I, Lisa, you and I in the beginning. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot that's being washed actually, like responsibility, unworthiness, fear of sharing all my thoughts. And I feel, especially my relationship with Laverne feels like really, really important. And, you know, I text her sometimes at 8 p.m. like, okay, I have to finish the day off with you. Like, I just need to connect. And it's really beautiful, actually, to just see, I don't know, like, just to feel like I can be so fully connected in my mind with someone, and that actually is the safety, rather than trying to do things myself and try to fix things myself. Or, yeah, so I don't know, I'm really I didn't know that I signed up for that when I said yes. Because I was kind of stewarding the online community we had, and now Tribe of Christ, and it's been such a gift for me. Like, yeah, I'm really grateful. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think for me too, even just the idea of the virtual reality, what it is revealing itself to be is like this digital community, like it's possible, you know, for us to come together no matter where we are in the world. You know, we don't have to be in a certain location. Like, we can have this experience. Everybody that wants to be part of it can have this experience together. So it's almost like every day we're like, okay, what is it now, Spirit, that's going to provide this experience to whoever wants it? Really, it's open to anybody. And that's where I feel this passion about what we're being. And I do have to say that I can't, you know, there's still more doer stuff that's coming up for me. So I never say that it's completely washed, because I feel like even today I'm still confronting that temptation to try to do stuff when I really need to step back and not do.
Yeah, and I've just been really appreciating these lot of interactivity. Like, we've been talking about how this whole Jesus, the Gospel of Love platform with online courses and online community, and it's really like an answer to our prayer to all feel more connected, to kind of go to be drawn into deeper intimacy with each other and with the whole world, really, with our whole self, the whole world, the whole mind, the whole cosmos, really. and inform how that's looking is a lot of these live sessions coming in lately in the course, and we're going to start doing them in the Tribe of Christ community. I think tomorrow night there's going to be a dance session that's going to be like broadcast in Zoom, and then next week, and we might have a cooking show coming in. We might have a lot of different things just to
Lisa's big whim.
Yeah. And I've just been loving it, because so far I've gotten to be the host. Like, it's like I was told at the beginning, you know, I think, Eric, you're gonna be the host, and I haven't really spoken publicly in front of a camera it's been a few years. I mean, regularly. It's been on and off, but I used to love doing live broadcasts and, you know, going on YouTube, doing lives, and it's been a while. I've gone through a lot of kind of dismantling since then, I feel, and now it's coming back around, this speaking more and interacting with people. And, you know, Francis and I had that conversation earlier, and that felt so good, just to be like, because, you know, and with you the other day, just locked into the present moment and just praying for what to say next. And I just love it. And then we open it up for questions and people to share their prayers. And there's just an intimacy there that I think it's tangible. Like, we can all feel a connection, like we're all in this purpose together. And I just love that, how technology is allowing for us, no matter where we live in the world, to really start to feel this one-mindedness that we all crave.
Yeah, when I think of Jesus too, when I look back at the Gospels and I look back at the Sermon on the Mount and everything, the thing that leaps out, it's always leaped out to me, is the be attitudes. Do you get that? Be attitudes. Teachings are words. Teachings are strung together ideas, and that's like a trampoline. But Jesus is not advocating that we study or we just continually just go over and over the trampoline, checking the springs, checking everything about the trampoline. The trampoline is just a tool that can be used briefly to spring into the be attitudes. Even in more modern times, there was a psychologist I liked, Abraham Maslow. Some of you remember his hierarchy of needs, his little pyramid. Self-actualization, that's enlightenment, is at the top of the pyramid. And if you go into the point of the pyramid, he talks about the be values, the being values. That's the whole point of going through all the getting your needs met, so to speak, the basic needs and emotional needs, and you go higher and higher, your cognitive needs, and then bing, he's saying the same thing that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago, the be attitudes, the be values. You can see it reflected everywhere that this is not about achievement. It's not about accomplishment in terms of form. This is about being happy. Everyone wants to be connected. Everyone wants to be happy. Everyone wants to feel joy. Everyone wants to feel love. And what the teachings are pointing to is that it is natural to be who you are as God created you. It's very unnatural to try to pretend. It's unnatural to wear a mask. It's unnatural to analyze. It's unnatural to try to figure out. It's unnatural to try to fix. These are unnatural, and the be values, the be attitudes are natural. And you notice too that you don't have to do anything to be what you already are. Francis was alluding to that at the beginning, where Jesus specifically says, you have taught what you are, but you have not allowed what you are to teach you. Is that profound? You have taught what you are. That's the self-concept. That's the flesh. You have taught what you are, but you have not allowed what you are, the Christ, to teach you. As long as we're still planning for the future, I was just reading that today in 135, it was saying, healing is natural, and that it's not often recognized that planning is a defense against the truth. It's that planning is unnatural. A healed mind is relieved of the belief that it must plan. And that's why he said 2,000 years ago, take no thought for the morrow. He was actually teaching from presence, like Eckhart says. He's just teaching love from the presence of love, and just saying, be like me, because that is your destiny. We are the same love. We were created by love, and we are the same love. We always have been. And everything else is not true. It's not real. So what a beautiful orchestra we have coming together. We have online community, we have programs coming, we have academy coming, we have lives like we're doing now, but lives inside. Francis did one this morning. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I really did. And I know that, every time when this kind of opportunity come together, like you're saying, is actually an opportunity to feel joy. There is no other real opportunity. There's never going to be, did you do the right thing? Did you do the wrong thing? Because that's the whole frame of thinking that you just can get yourself completely, tied up into a self-concept. And the way of undoing is let what I am, let who you are teach you. Then you step back and think, how can I actually allow this to teach me how to be happy and how to connect with the people in this present moment? And just because I remember even you, David, you said a few days ago, like, that every gathering is really just an opportunity to join with the spark even in the room and see what's going to unfold from that moment. There's actually no other real plan except to let us join together in this and see what unfolds. So I feel like even with the Gospel of Love and Mystical Christ Academy, all of these all of these products, so-called, they actually came from that spark. From the very beginning, when Laverne, you heard about the technology and you're like, I really want to do this. Eric joined, Linda joined, and we joined, and something just takes shape. And now it gives us more opportunity to say, okay, what about now we come together, just tap into this spark.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking early on, Laverne, you said what I really feel too is that what are you sharing and radiating is that enlightenment or salvation or self-realization, it's not only possible, but it's inevitable. You have to kind of really yield into that inevitable thing, like, ooh. The ego does not like that word inevitable. It likes to have wiggle room, but happiness is inevitable. Joy is inevitable. Laughter is inevitable. The world will end in laughter because Christ is inevitable. And that's, I think, the energy, this is the Jesus revolution we're feeling, you know. And even they were, I think Emily and Francis were going down to meet an old, dear friend of mine down here in Mexico that I haven't seen for years and years and years. I really have not seen for years. And Francis said, we're going to see Cesar. And I'm like, oh yeah, render unto God what is God, and unto the Cesar what is, this is the Spanish version, to Cesar. And Francis said, you want to go along? I said, yeah. And we went there, and sparkly eyes, bulging rosy cheeks, hugs. Oh, I didn't even lost time how long we were there. But it was laughing, rejoicing, sharing joy from the heart. It just, we were like lifted and lifted and lifted and lifted. And then we got a message today. Oh, so grateful, so happy, you know. And this is a man down here in Mexico. He would do anything for me to help share the joy. I mean, he would handle anything. He would even walk me out to the car. And years ago, I mean, many years ago, he'd walk me out to the car and he'd go, I don't know anything about Mexico. I don't know anything about what. He said, oh, you're missing your emissions sticker on your car for down here. I'm like, this Cesar delivering. How would I know coming to Mexico that I'm missing the emission sticker on the car? But he comes out of his office, walks me out, and points out, you need to get an updated emission sticker. But that's just the spirit of joy, taking care. We call them angels. Everyone turns into an angel. You don't have to know how to figure it out or survive in time and space. You just have to be willing to accept the grace of the angels.
Because yesterday because he works in a bank, Cesar, and we went to see him as if there was a purpose to talk about some of the account in our bank. But really, I was watching you talking with Cesar. We were there for hours, and really, there was like hours of talking about the movie and about his daughter,
Revolution.
Jesus.
He's telling everybody.
And about the you know, our ministry, and he was talking about his daughter's commission service, and just like so many conversations, and then in the middle of it, maybe one sentence, then a sentence about the account come through. And then we went on for another hour of all these other things, and then another sentence of the account comes through. I thought, well, in the end, after hours, this a few sentences of regarding what we went there for came through still. But the majority of the things was just talking about the joy.
I said, there's a movie out now in the theaters. Cesar, have you seen it, Jesus Revolution? He's like, no. I said, I'm telling him the plot. I go into the whole plot from the beginning to the end. He's like, and then we got this going on, this and this. We have a new intern application. She's coming from New York City. What's your Wi-Fi? You want to see it? Yeah, here's my Wi-Fi. So we watched an intern application together, and she's walking through New York City and sharing from her heart. I'm ready to unplug from my corporate job and everything like this. And we're like, oh, that's adorable. And he's like, she's adorable. I want to meet her. I want to meet her when she gets here. You know, that's the first interaction I've had with Cesar for years. I haven't seen him for years. But then we were fired up after that. So we were like, we need to see the Jesus Revolution. And so we were like, let's go down to Ajijic, to the movie theater, and let's find the guy who orders the movies.
We can not only ask him to rent the movie, whether we can rent a theater.
Rent the theater.
All of us to go see that.
Yeah. And at first he came down, he's like, oh yeah, that looks kind of like Jesus Revolution, looks kind of like a rare movie. And we said, yeah, it's not like, you know, Titanic or some, but then he was like watching us, and you speak English? Yeah, poquito. Okay, good. So we were linking, and he was like, rejoice. And then he's like, I know the guy who brings the movies, all the movies to Mexico, because that's his business, it's his theater. And he's like, okay, Emily, what's your number, your phone number? And he's going to text us. He's like, I'm going to find it. He went from, that's a rare sounding movie, to, I'm going to talk to this guy and see if I can bring this movie. We know down here, we know a lot of people who probably would enjoy packing his theater, but it was just the joy of the moment. It's just following the joy of what feels wonderful in the moment, and then going with the full sense of not an expectation of anything, but first we talked to the concession stand people, and then you had Jesus Revolution on your phone. You were like this, and he's like,
He almost know exactly that. Wait a moment, and he just ran away and brought the manager down, and the manager was like, But then at the end, after we told him everything, he was so happy. He was shaking our hands, and he was like, my name is Carlos. I will be in touch. I will definitely be in touch.
I will get that movie for you. I will get that movie. And then Frances was like, good, soon. She threw it on top of the whole thing. Soon. That's our version of now. Soon. And he's like, yes. But it's an energy, it's a vibration, it's the joy of Jesus, you know. It's joy. Jesus is just a demonstration, it's the presence for us of that we are free now. It's not a future salvation thing. It's not, I'll work this out. It's the grace of God is here and now, and we are free now. And we need to dance like the Kim Walker song, dance like the weight has been lifted. Yeah, dance like the weight has been lifted. Grace is waiting for you. Yes, communion, grace, joy. It's okay to be drunk on the Lord. It's okay to be intoxicated on the Lord. That's how it is for me. Now I'm not even able to have solid foods. You know, soup, no, wave off the soup too. Wave that off too. But it just, you get more and more intoxicated in the mana from heaven. Or in the Eastern, they call it the prana. But it's the mana, call it anything you want. Mana, prana, it's just light. We are a being of light. We live by light. We don't live by the things of this time-space world. We live by light. And so here we are here, and these are 3 of our initial collaborators, and then you actually have a team. You've had teams and teams of ones working with you. Maybe you can just introduce or share a little bit about your teams.
Well, we have a lot of people that have come up underneath this whole project, but I have to say that, I mean, the bulk of the support has come from La Casa de Milagros and the interns here. It feels like just some kind of blessing that they, you know, we started talking about this idea, and then pretty soon it's like there's a whole team that's here that's ready and mobilized, and they have just grabbed the ball. So yeah, I know there are people on the community side too that have jumped in too. Maybe you want to say something about them.
Right. Yeah, we have some remote volunteers around the world that are in the online community every day, and we have a WhatsApp group, and it's like ping, 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 ping all day. Like there's so much inspiration coming through them. Like they're so inspired to share the teachings of Jesus. They find little video nuggets. I know Lucy was making this beautiful video from Francis talking about the chosen and running a chosen clip underneath it, and it's actually things that they've never done before, and they are actually really amazed too about what's coming through, and I'm too. Like they're sharing all these things, and what about this, Linda? Can we share this in Tribe of Christ? Like, yeah. So it's like there's so many seeming decisions to make all through the day, and I join a lot with Laverne, but there's so much joy that wants to come through. There's really a lot of inspiration, and so I'm like, okay, pause, guys. I gotta pause my notifications. But they're so happy, and they're so it's really a gift for me actually to collaborate with them every day. Yeah. Thanks.
And maybe Jason or Eric, you can share about the online program that's going on, the pilot program, because that's a synergy, that's a collaboration too. It's just started, but these people, I think there's, I don't know how many is probably 100, but we get portions of that join in lives, and they're just pouring their hearts out and sharing their heart, and we're all just blessed by what we hear. So that's kind of another thing that's happening simultaneously.
Yeah. The pilot course is, I think we're like right in the middle of it right now, day 4, and we've had a few live sessions and just hearing from people who've come on to really pour their heart out, and a lot of emotion coming up, like today with Kima is a man who just crying and saying, I really just want to devote my whole life to this. And it's just so beautiful. I can't believe how much, I don't know, it's just there's so much sincerity and heart that we're getting witnesses of, all these people around the world that really want to fully surrender their life to Jesus, the gospel of love. And here, I just am so grateful too, because like I've been joining with Lucia. Maybe we can bring Lucia up to share. I don't know, and who else we have? We have a lot, but Sam and Lauren have been, Amelia. We have a lot. We don't have enough chairs for everyone, but Lucia has been so instrumental in this whole thing, because she, right from the beginning, she kind of took the helm of leading a team here. We called it Team Jesus here at La Casa, and just because we, at the beginning, Laverne and I were joining with Lisa, and we had some ideas, but we didn't really know where it was all going. So we would just share our ideas, and then we'd share them with Lucia, and she would share them with the team, or sometimes we'd have a big group meeting, and then things would happen. We even created a whole course, and then got to a point where, that doesn't really feel like that's quite it. And so we just completely scrapped the whole thing. And, everyone had to face their thoughts around, well, what about all that time I put into it? But everyone really quickly got on board with, let's just start over and let's go into the mystic and pray for what is it now? Because it's got to be for us. It's got to be for us in this moment to feel connected. We're not really doing this for some end product, and we keep reminding each other of that, I think. And I just am grateful for Lucia's help too, because you've just been not only really helpful in terms of getting things done, but that's not even really what it's about. I feel like the main help is you've just been so authentic and so transparent and willing to face your own emotions and go through things, and that's really what it's about. I know that's what it's about for me, and I know that we've all come here because we want our life to be devoted to healing, and it's not about getting anything done, like David's been saying. So I'm just so grateful for you, and maybe you have some thoughts you want to share about.
I was sharing today actually how grateful I feel for the whole thing just coming into my awareness and being here and having it as my function, and it's been a lifeline, because there's just so much healing that goes on here. It's like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to end? Like, am I ever going to feel stable? Like, I feel like the girl from Tangled that's in today is just like just crazy, like manic, chaotic. and yeah, this whole project has just been so good to just bring myself back over and over again, just to the focus of Jesus and like his ministry, like over and over again, just to bring my mind back to the now. And then whenever stuff comes up, just us joining over seeming spreadsheets and captions or whatever, but actually what's going on is in the joining and in the conversation, and feeling so loved and held in that as well. Like whenever anything comes up, it's just there's so much love. Like, and I was sharing today as well how, yeah, it's when the doer comes in and then I think I've done something wrong or right, and that's just washing all that away and just seeing that, you know, I don't want that anymore anyway. Like I did that, I'd done that for a really long time where I've just focused on the doer and how can I get better and better. So this has to be about something else. This can't be about the doer because I've done that for so long. And and I was sharing today how whenever stuff came up, there's this idea that, oh God, they're going to just chuck me off this course. I'm too unstable. They're just going to tell me, you can't do this. You just we'll get someone else who's kind of more focused and can do it and isn't going off and crying every 5 minutes. But it's like, no, every time I'm shown that you're okay, and it's not about that. Like it's for the healing. So, and being carried in that love to, okay, we can heal, and then we can come back to the project, and nothing's gone wrong. Nothing's ever gone wrong. So I feel so grateful.
Yeah, and I want to add to that because the feedback that we've received from the interns every step of the way has been so helpful, and kind of the key things are like, shorten it up, you know, so we're just really trying to get those nuggets in the course so that, you know, people know that they're getting the best of the best. And what I found to be so cool too is, you know, we've put these great movie clips inside the pilot course. And so like in the community, while everybody knows about the being there, Chauncey Gardner, you know, the Chauncey Gardner state of mind, most people wouldn't really know that except in the community. So now with the people coming into the course, we're all talking about the same clips, you know, tangled, going through that dismantling, and, you know, the Bruce Almighty, God's reaching out and he's not listening. And it's just beautiful to see that we're all on the same page with this healing process, which is really cool to see, and to get that reflection back from Francis, the live session, and the people that were in it today was great. So it's like live feedback. We're getting it immediately.
Everyone's in sync. That's the fun part.
Yeah.
You can feel the synergy. Everyone's in sync. Wow. Okay, do we have other people that you want to call? Maybe Sam?
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, you've been working.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucia.
And just as Sam is coming up, I just want to say, you know, Sam really just jumped on board so quickly, not really knowing a whole lot about video editing, and he is like, you know, the video editor extraordinaire now here, and training everybody and organizing all the clips. It is, and he's really kind of like the central casting guy in terms of our videos and getting clips ready, and even preparing all of the retreats to be uploaded onto our new platform. So he's got a lot going on.
Yeah, we need to hear from this, because I was going doobie-doobie-doo, but in between do and be is done through. Anybody wonders what it's like to be done through? We every time we hear a Celine Dion song, we know she's been done through. She would say she's been sung through. She's not identifying with the doer. She's identifying with done through. And then, so you just came in and jumped right in, and now it's more of a done through experience.
Yeah, like I just love how everything unfolds when you just kind of give that big yes. Like I give that big yes to come in here, and then I'd done like video editing before, but like not to any kind of high standard, just a lot of personal projects, like videos of myself doing my hobbies and like 1 or 2 projects at university, but then like, yeah, I turn up here and then, yeah, I like end up video editing, and it's like, yeah, you've got Final Cut Pro, like really good video editing software, and I was like, oh my God, I was so excited. And it was that first experience of like really giving my kind of skills over to the Holy Spirit. It was just an idea before that, and then it's like, wow, now it's like a living experience. And yeah, like I spend all day video editing most days, and yeah, it's just been great. And yeah, like the collaboration as well. I remember when we made the Matrix video that's on the Christ.net. I think it's on the homepage. Yeah, like it's such a cool video, but there was like so many revisions of it. Like Laverne was like, yeah, I want this, and then I made a video, and then just no, not at all, you know. Go back to the drawing board. Then we come back, oh yeah, so this is what you wanted. No, this is not what I wanted. and yeah, there was a lot of healing in that, of like you know, like, oh, if I could just do it the way that I wanted, everything would be fine. But that's not how it went. And yeah, there was back and forth, and then yeah, it really like just sculpted. And then I think Laverne made like the last finishing touches, and then I love the video so much now. And I think it was like better than anything we could have done like on our own. Yeah. So yeah, it was just such a testament to collaboration. And yeah, there's so many other healing opportunities that come up with video editing. There's so many technical things that can go wrong, and also, yeah, just the washing away of pride and the I know mind. Like, yeah, receiving like instructions for clips and being like, why do they want it done like that? Like, you know, it would look so much better than like having to fight that battle with like, the urge really does come up like, oh, I'm just going to do it the way that I want, you know. And one time I actually got to the point where I'd edited a video how I wanted it, not how the instructions were. And it felt so wrong, and I was like, I should stop this. And I was like, no, and I exported it. And then I went to the next stage, like handbraking it, like compressed the video. And then I like got to the part where I was about to upload it, and I was like, no, this is just clearly not guided. Like, it felt so wrong, but I took it to the final step before I was like, okay, Holy Spirit, I'll just listen and follow. Like, so, yeah, but I've just been so grateful for the opportunity, and yeah, to work on kind of a course focused on getting more in touch with Jesus is like a prayer for me, because, yeah, up until quite recently, before coming to the community, I only just made that step of like, okay, I'm going to start praying to Jesus now, not just the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit was safer, and I'm like, yeah, I had a lot of like preconceptions about Christianity still, and then I was like, okay, I'm giving up, Jesus. I'll come to you. And now it's like my prayer is to strengthen that relationship, and it's like, okay, here, now you can work on a course about building a relationship with me. Like, so yeah, it's just cool how everything unfolds once you say yes.
That's a good example of how when you give it over to the Spirit, because like with you and Laverne working so closely and intimately on this, but that's not it. No, that's not it. You know, it reminds me of that movie Inception, you know, Leonardo DiCaprio, and then the girl who's the architect. And he's got these ideas of Inception and all these deep things, and the whole team around him and all playing their parts. And then she comes in and she starts whoosh, whoosh, whoosh with making scenes and in cities and building and pulling things. And he's like, whoa. So when you bring the architect and the ideas together, you know, it's really something to experience. You know, I remember the first time I went down to Argentina was like 2003, and I did many gatherings all over the place, just was done through. And then one night, my host just said, we're taking you out tonight, and you're going to have an experience. And I said, great. What is it? Are we going to a meal? Well, it's like a dinner theater, but there's runways that are between all the tables. What's on the runways? Tango. I said, tango? You mean I eat my meal and the men and the women come out and tango on the runways while you're eating like 2-3 feet away from you? Yes. Well, these tango dancers came out, and they were svelte. They had athletic bodies like you wouldn't find in the Olympics. And I was sitting there eating my meal, and I could hear their bodies slicing, dancing next to me, and I could hear the wind going, like Zorro. I was like, what is this? It was like men and women dancing with such high speed and such precision, probably for centuries. Tango evolved from a lot of passion. You know, you're working out passion issues. Yeah, you should try out some tango. They even told me the history of tango. I thought, oh, that's dark. I'm eating, please. But to me, be able to hear their bodies slice through the air when you're eating, you know, it was just kind of a cool experience. I'd never had anything like it, but that's kind of what it is here at La Casa. You're kind of slicing through so many past ideas with full fuel and passion, and it's like you're just taken and swept up in it. And then there's something inside you to know that this is a cleaning, a clearing, a purifying. It's good. There's something good, healing happening underneath it. Even though the ego is like, this is crazy. Like Lucia was saying, I'm like entangled. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But there's something, you feel the goodness. So yeah, thank you for your willingness, because I know that's really just allowing yourself to be done through. And Laverne, of course, you know, she's been in our community for years and did these metaphysical movie trailers that people in our community, when she first started putting them out, they were like with narration, and it was like anything about a movie trailer. There's a lot of work that goes into a movie trailer. Usually a year before the movie, the whole thing in selling the movie is the trailer. And we were like watching some of Laverne's 3.5 minute trailers, and we're like, I think you found your calling. I don't know how. We were all like dazzled. We're like, we wanted to see the movie with new eyes. After we heard and saw the trailer, we were enticed, we were allured into it more than ever. And I think that's what is happening with this Jesus gospel of love. It has to be done through in such a way that you feel the joy of the present moment. And then if it's a slight variation of it, you're not going to hit that upload button. You know, it's like, no, not yet.
You know, that whole thing around the joy, when we received the feedback about the first pilot course that we developed, and then we got the feedback from the interns, it's like the very first thing they said is that, you know, we would take a course if it's promising us joy. And so it was like, okay, we need to scrap everything that we've done and start over with that in mind, like the joy in the mind, knowing that there's healing involved, but that the end game is joy. And we've really let that sort of be our mantra now.
Beacon, the guiding light.
Yes.
Joy.
Maybe we want to bring up, who else?
Well, there's Lauren.
Yeah,
Love to hear from her. So Lauren just started the video editing not too long ago, but it turned out that one of the video editors left, and then Lauren was available, and so like in the last month she stepped into video editing and learning from her boyfriend Sam. So it's kind of like a perfect collaboration, and she's just really stepped up into it really easily. Do you want to say something about that and that experience?
Yeah, so I'd never done any video editing before, and then yeah, just one morning it was all just changed, and I was suddenly video editing, and with Sam as my link, which yeah brings up a lot in our relationship. Trying to like untangle the roles of boyfriend and link, and just
let them both go really. But yeah, it was really amazing actually, because I was making those meditation videos, and I never imagined that I would make anything like that. Like Sam was helping me a lot, but like I've always felt this creative spark, but never knew like where. Like I never thought I was good at drawing or whatever. And then yeah, suddenly I'm just learning how to edit, and then I'm making these videos to like these amazing meditation audios, and it really felt like I'm not doing this. Like I don't know how to do this. Like yeah, there's some like visuals coming in my mind, but I don't know how to give that to someone else. And it just happened. Like there was like a deadline, and all this frustration and anger came up, and I was like to Lucia, like I don't like deadlines, like this is meant to be creative. And then I sat down to start, and it just poured out. And yeah, just letting go of pride as well, having to kind of constantly ask Sam for help with it, which yeah, I like to kind of know how to do things myself, so I had to completely let that go, because I didn't even have a baseline to try and start by myself really before he was teaching me. So yeah, and for our relationship as well, like just working next to each other, we pray together like most days now, and we never used to do that. So that's yeah, a really amazing thing that's come from me and him working together so closely. And yeah, it's just, I love it now, and it's just not an area I ever thought I would dive into. So yeah, I'm really grateful just to be able to be creative now. I didn't see that happening.
And your collaboration with Amelia, how did that go?
Yeah, and with Amelia too. She made these amazing meditations, and then yeah, Laverne just came to us one day. I think we were cooking, and she said, "Oh, like the guidance has come that you two will collaborate, and Lauren, you'll make the videos." And again, I thought like, what? How? Me? And then yeah, Amelia just read the audio to me, and I closed my eyes, and all these images were coming, and I just thought, wow, okay, oh, that will be made then. And then it was. Yeah. Yeah, like still no idea really how it happened, other than yeah, it wasn't me, and it's a really amazing feeling to be in that, and just yeah, in the joy. Like it was a really joyful, I think it was 3 days or something that I made them, and I was so focused. Like I couldn't, like a conversation came up about the plants actually, and I just couldn't, like I couldn't bring my mind to it. I just thought, no, like that's for after. Like this is all that I'm doing or being at the moment. So yeah, it was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, the guided meditations in the course are just spectacular. That's the feedback we also got from people that it took the initial courses. Like they loved the one meditation we had, let's put more in. So that's even part of the whole experience, to just let the content absorb, and through the meditation, and then journaling about it too. Like what is it that you've gained from these clips and from the teaching so far? Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. I'm just hearing willingness, that when you have a willingness to just open up to spirit, you don't really have a clue, but you have the willingness, then it seems to happen effortlessly. And is again, I think that's the done through feeling, where you don't have to preconceive anything or think what you're going to say or think about the doing. It's just the flow of it just comes, and then you're kind of amazed just watching it, like, wow, I didn't know I had that in me. And Jesus is like telling us, you have a lot in you, and your little willingness is like the key that unlocks your heart. When you just show up with the willingness, then miracles happen. And it's not like we're personally doing the miracles. The miracles are kind of coming through us, through our awareness. We're being done through. So that's the beautiful thing, because it hasn't been, how many months has it been since you and Sam crossed the ocean?
I think it's 4 months now.
4
we've been
months.
here.
Yeah. Just showing up like, okay, new adventure, and oh wow, we made it. We landed, and then it's just been quite an experience. I think these 4 months, it's been very huge experience for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Well, I did want to mention Amelia too, because her and Lauren collaborated on the guided meditations, but it was really Amelia that was really feeling strongly, you know, the words and the music and sort of the vibe of the guided meditations. Maybe we could have her come up and share. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Lauren. Stool, the swivel stools.
Yeah, I feel so blank these days, like I have no idea what's going on. I'm just here.
Just with a smile on your face. Oh, you want me? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think when you, what the other people have been talking about, like Lauren and Sam, and with saying yes and the willingness, like, yeah, when I look back on this whole process, I can just see how much resistance I've had to, following and like feeling insecure, and even just sitting here now, I just felt like I don't want to sit here. I'm just feeling, this insecurity and unworthiness, and so I feel like everything we're doing is, it is about that willingness and just trusting that it's just peeling off the layers all the time. Like, it's been really. Not easy, but also beautiful. It really feels like what Lucia talked about. Like, it's like this. But it's been really beautiful with the meditations. I felt like, wow, can I really do this? Like, thank you. And when I was doing it, I just felt like Spirit was giving me the words, the ideas, speaking through me. It didn't feel like I was doing it. And when I tried to do it, it wouldn't work. It would sound weird, and I just had to be done through to have it work. And then it was just super easy, and I never edited before. I had no idea what I was doing, but within an hour, I learned how to edit just by clicking and looking around, and it's working, and then it just happens. So that's been fun. And I also just realized it's actually something that I've been wanting to do for years, make guided meditations and having Spirit talk through me, and then I was like, wow, it's just happening. I didn't have to like make it happen. It just came to me as a gift, and it's been beautiful, difficult, the whole shebang.
It's just like bringing cause and effect together, because we have had a belief that, for example, that there's a difference between like thinking about having a band and having a band. People would say, well, there's a big difference between thinking about having a band and having a band, or thinking about doing Jesus, the gospel of love, and having Jesus, the gospel of love. But like Laverne was saying earlier, if we think of it and we want it, then it's there. And that's really the convincing job that Jesus is doing with us, that the world is not apart from our mind. That this is why it gets exciting when you start to think of the word simultaneous, and you start to get excited about simultaneous, because we're used to cause and then effect coming after. Cause comes first, effects come second. It's our programming, and what Jesus is saying is, no, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. I can do all things through you. You'll do greater things than I. People read the Bible and they go, greater things than you, uh-oh. what is that? If he's, really saying these things. Those are the red letters in there. Ooh. But I think it's that we really are opening to an experience that cause and effect are together, that literally everything that we could ever want, we already have and are right now. That's a line from I Heart Huckabees, Dustin Hoffman. But actually, that's very profound. Everything that you could ever want, you already have and are. And that's the third lesson, part of the third lesson of the 3 lessons of the Holy Spirit. In the end, that having and being are the same. We don't have a bank account. We don't have a partnership. We don't have a community. We have and are the Christ. And it takes a convincing to realize that what we have is what we are, that having and being are the same. Because we've got a category for having. What do I have? What don't I have? What do I want in the future? And then being. Oh, being. Well, that sounds very present. But what does having have to do with being? And Jesus says everything. They're identical. They're not similar. They're actually the same. So how deep this is when you just say, I don't know how to do this, and then an hour later, look at that. And I always wanted to do that too. like Laverne said, I wanted to do that, and then, there it is. So, when people talk about manifesting, most of the times I hear about manifesting, it's on the timeline. What I want to manifest in the future, and of course we've all tried that, but that's really doesn't really jive with the kingdom of heaven is in hand. The kingdom of heaven is now. And that's where the joy is. The joy is that it's whole, it's complete. There's nothing missing in it. It's just everything. It's like when we're kids, we like to play. We lose track of time and space when we play as children. We don't even remember about dinner time or weekend or what day of the week it is. We're just in the glee of the moment playing. And then somehow we buy into programming and train our minds to be successful, be efficient, be productive. And it's quite amazing to think that you can actually start to let that go, and that you don't even have to worry about how you'll be taken care of as a person, because there's a beingness there that is so vibrant and so present and so happy that it transcends all of the stuff, the whole world. There's nothing else. I mean, look, I come over here and we pull in the driveway and Benito, he's like, that's like me with Cesar yesterday. We pull in, he's like, and we're all like, where is he? Where is he? Boom! He comes like a missile right for you. And he is, it's been going on for how many years? Since Benito.
This is dog we're talking about.
That's right. They're like, who's Benito? Benito is our dog we adopted, who's named after the former president of Mexico, who's actually Mexico City Airport is that president. So he's named after the. But there's just glee and joy and gratitude, and he was just up there licking Jason's. He's just so grateful, and he's so joyful and gleeful, and then we always get greeted by that. So that's just an example of his willingness to connect and join us, and everybody is feeling it too. And it doesn't have to be, we don't have to think in terms of people and animals and plants and everything, we don't have to think like that anymore, like Solaris. We can just enjoy and be grateful for the presence of this amazing spirit.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, the last one that I wanted to bring up and ask to come up is Marcella, because she had stepped into the publications area right when she was needed to finish this new book, Jesus, a Gospel of Love, and maybe you can just say more about your experience with that.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I feel a lot of gratitude around it, because it actually felt it was a gift for me. It was, we were doing the book, we were putting it together, and every time I was there, it was like having the answer to my prayer. So it was like having Jesus talking to me every time I was just just with it. So it felt like a meditation all the time. So, and I didn't know anything. I just didn't know anything about books, anything. And even with the cover, for example, I thought someone else was going to do the cover. I thought about Pete to do the cover. But then I was praying, and one day I woke up and I had this image in my mind. And I went and I found I did it on an app just to have like a draft. But at the end, that was the cover. And then I joined with Pete, and he said, "Oh, it's beautiful, the cover that you got." He just added a little things, but it was that was the cover, But I dreamt it, like it came to me, and even words, like, because this is the abridged edition of the book, and I didn't even know that word before. So I was, when we were, looking, I was doing the cover as well, that the word came to me. I was like, I don't even know what it means. Then when I was doing I was registering the ISBN number for the book. That's the first option I got. Like, it was the confirmation that was, that was given. That was, and all of it was, every step was just given. I had no idea of anything. And I was just being shown day by day. But at the same time, it was getting an answer to all of my prayers through that book. So for me, it was like a constant meditation. And then joining with Laverne, it was just, every time I joined with her, I was just like, so joyful. I think I was like, it's like my heart wanted to explode in joy, because it was. I think that was for me, one of the main gifts to join with you. And then it was like, I cannot contain it. It was just so joyful. So everything about it has been so beautiful. Like I feel like I didn't do anything at all. That's how I feel. Like yesterday, I was thinking, I think we've been working on it for 6 months, 6 or 7 months, and I feel I didn't do anything. I'm like, we just have it here. It feels like a baby, but I don't feel I did anything. It was all given. That's how it feels.
Yeah, so abridged means that the book is just an excerpt of what it contains. What it is 42 sections of the Bible with David's commentary and parables about each of those sections. So it's really just the tip of the iceberg of what the content is that we have access to, but it's a beautiful taster that everyone who is signing up for the Mystical Christ Academy will get as part of a gift when they sign up for the Academy. So it was just so helpful that Marcella, who helped first in just finding content for this book, ended up stepping into publications and finishing it off, and it ended up in the store just today. So divine timing.
Yeah, the announcement Marcella just announced, it's in the Living Miracles bookstore.
Yeah.
So it's an ebook. So it's kind of like Jesus going, like, it's just spontaneous, it's digital. Let's get digital now, release. Even though Laverne's saying it could be a big book at some point, published book or a bigger ebook, but that was kind of exciting to see, as we're just talking about Jesus' gospel of love. There it is. It just dropped right in there with everything else that's going on. So Yeah, that's beautiful because it's available already.
Yeah, it feels like a beautiful gift that it's all together. It's all orchestrated. That's how it feels. And I just feel like if you see the cover, then it was given. I really don't know how it happened, but it's there. So just take a look at the cover.
You're like walking on water. I don't know how this is happening.
And her and Soren felt inspired to actually do some meditations from the book. So they've started doing these meditations to music with excerpts from the book. So that's coming up next too.
In Tribe of Christ, we'll have some live.
That's really beautiful. I just hear all of you guys, and I feel like, oh my God, the joy that you feel is actually not about, finishing something, is not about anything, but the joy you actually, I can witness is because you feel this is real, that I really have a connection, and there's, convincing. I didn't think I do. I didn't think that something would come through in this way, and just through this project, this is convincing me, and this is so joyful. And I feel that's the true purpose of us doing anything, is this feeling, this is the Christ that we're living in and is living in us. And actually, these little examples are just an example that he wants to convince us, I'm right here with you, and there is no other joy. There is no other joy in this world but in living in me and knowing I'm right here with you. That's so beautiful.
It's like repurposing too, because it's almost like what we consider human life. It's, you have to learn and you have to train and you have to go through practice and everything to kind of be something in the world. Marcella was a lawyer, and now she's in a field that she has no awareness of whatsoever, and she's in total glee. And lawyer, what's that? Now it's like it's blown away, because now it's like you're being used, done through in such a way. And we could go through with every one of us, all the different CEOs and owned company, all the different. You were a traveling minstrel one time, I think, but there's all kinds of things, and then suddenly it's the present moment, and suddenly, like Jesus says, when you came here to this world, you came without a self and made one up as you went along, and it was a lot of work. Anybody here go through education? Service, practice, all that stuff? It's a lot of work to try to make up a self other than our divine self. But we had the reflection of Jesus of like, I bought a ticket to the world, but now I've come back to God again. And there is no next line in that song. Why do I find it hard to write the next line? I want the truth to be said. Da, 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 da. I know this much is true. That's the thing. We crazily bought a ticket to time and space, and now we've come back to the spirit, to the I am presence, and now we're back. Now we're back where we've always been, and it's joyful, it's gleeful, it's happy. It feels like there's no sense of having to control anything or make something happen, but like you were saying with your meetings with Laverne, just like like a little girl, wee! Another moment to rejoice, wee! That's a life.
Well, right, because every time I had the honor of being able to call either of you, there was so much enthusiasm. It was like this enthusiasm. You could feel like it was this energy of, vibrant joy, but really like it was running it. That's what was happening, and we could all join in it too. I'd be like, oh my God, what is it? So enthusiastic, of just, all this good material or publications. I have no idea. We're talking about things I would have never gotten enthusiastic about. But it was really just the collaboration and everybody in the celebration of not knowing how it was being done, but it was being done through. And that celebration, like, oh, my word is so wonderful. Oh, my God is so beautiful. And I got to just enjoy all that. And to be with you guys with it has been such a gift for myself. It's like, oh, you know, that's all that is, I don't know, in my heart. That's all I want, is to join in that enthusiasm. Because as I've been listening to everybody sharing, you know, hearing, heaven is a collaborative venture. The whole time everyone's sharing, you know, and heaven is really a state of mind, and how this is like this demonstration of this collaboration of coming together with this shared purpose. And it's just this unbelievable kind of, you know, I don't know, just this perfect, you know, backdrop to join with Jesus and to join in, you know, really the gospel and feel his presence, you know. And that's what you're hearing with everybody, like, oh my word, how am I doing that? I have no idea how I'm doing that, you know. And just feeling what Jesus probably felt when he was walking on water, you know, is like he wasn't doing it. You know, he was performing miracles and I don't know, just feeling that elevated feeling of being carried, which is so beautiful.
You know, we started the pilot course, the day one, with David, you singing a song, A Whole New World, which was a good segue into the Aladdin song. But it's that feeling that you're describing, you know, is that song and these songs that really bring that feeling into the heart. You know, that's it. You can find it like a radio station. Oh, there's the station. Okay, turn it up. That's it. And that's how we've been guided on this journey with Jesus, the gospel of love, is just to stay in that joy zone. And if we're off, get back there as quickly as possible. Yeah, like you said, you did it, and then you scrapped it because you had to come back to the joy. And it's like, I think for people who even study the scriptures and read the gospels and pore over that, you know, literally the scriptures from the Bible every day, what they're really praying for is, Lord, I want to know you. That's underneath the reading of the scriptures. It's not a ritualistic thing. It's like, it's a prayer. Lord, I want to know you. And as we think about things that have touched us, it's like, imagine taking the scriptures and Walt Disney and putting the scriptures and Walt Disney together. All the great Disney movies where we were swept up with the music. Let it go, don't hold it back any. You know, we were like watching the cartoons and feeling our heart exploding, and that was Disney. You know, it still is Disney. You know, it's amazing. It's miraculous. Walt had a beautiful heart, and he had such a passion for children and joy and connection. But if you take something like the scriptures and you make it practical, you go into the living experience of it, you feel the joy of it, then you feel the connection with the Lord. And there's nothing more valuable than that. That's what people are going through the Bible for. Even Jesus, when he came, he was all about present joy in the kingdom of heaven, but he wasn't really so keen on traditions and like the scribes and the Pharisees, you know, when they would go on and on about, he would say, well, you know, you're very versed in the letter of the law, the history of it, but you're not into the spirit of the law, the God, the love, the spirit of joy. The spirit of joy, that's the Holy Spirit, and we're getting into that. This is our Pentecost.
Amen. Don't get me started. We might burst out.
That's right. It's like charismatic mystic. Lisa's like, yeah, charismatic mystic. Put those two together. Yeah, you know. But that's what will raise the dead. That's what will heal the sick. That's what will show that eternal life is our gift from the Lord. He has given us, he's reminded us of that gift, And now we're just getting into the swirl of it. And it's out of our hands. You know, it's literally, we hear one after the other. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I videoed it. I don't know how I made the book. I don't know how I made that, I got that cover. I don't know. It's like over and over and over. It's the same testimony that it's being done through, and we like it. We really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's no goal. We have no goals. It's really just being here present, you know, just being in that present joy. To know that that is our only goal, is to remember that. And that's, I mean, what else do you want? You know, that's it.
Even I was going through the course, the pilot course with everybody now, and the first chosen clip, it was a clip that when Jesus first met Mary Magdalene. I've never seen that clip. So it was the first time I watched it in the pilot course, and I was so struck by it, because Mary had this calling as she was a little girl, and she was hearing this promise from God that I will always be with you. I will always be with you. And then her life went such a downhill into this place that she was praying and just lost faith, and she went to a dark hole. Nobody, Nicodemus, nobody could heal her. And then she met Jesus. Her name at the time, everybody called her Lilith. And Jesus came out and said, Mary. And she's like, that's not my name. Yes, Mary, Mary of Magdalene. I will always be with you. You are mine. She immediately got healed. That is, you know, when I watched, I thought, there is no other sickness. There is no other problem. There is no other sadness except this calling to know Jesus, Spirit, Christ is always with me. And your testimony tonight is just that, the same thing. I experienced that. I'm happy. I experienced that. I'm convinced. And that is, you know, it's not like through a process Jesus would say, okay, let's see what the process we have to go through for you to. It was absolutely none, because that was the answer.
Yeah. Jesus was kind of an instant karma guy instead of the process. Like, be healed now. Demons, go. You know, Lazarus is dead for 3 days. Arise now. You know, it's like he's not waiting. He's not working it out. There's not really a process with this, you know. But it's like that, to me, is the power of it, because, you know, I know even the series, The Chosen, and then most people know from years of Christianity, there was always talk. I remember when I was raised in Christianity, and we studied the Bible and everything, and then they started bringing up this phrase, and I was kind of like, maybe as a child and then a teenager, say, what does that mean? The chosen ones. Has anybody ever heard of the Chosen is the name of the series, but the chosen ones. And I thought, that sounds a little special. I don't know why, the chosen ones. Like there's the chosen ones and the unchosen ones. But I thought, then I got to the teaching where he said, all are called, few choose to listen. And I was like, oh, so the call is there, and in terms of the world, few choose to listen, but in the end, everyone will listen. That's the whole picture. All are called, few choose to listen. That's how it seems to be in the timeline. You know, but in the end, everyone will listen. Everyone will answer the call. So really, the joy is answering the call now. That's what they call the born again. I used to say, what's the born again experience? You know, that which is born of the flesh is flesh. That which is born of the spirit is spirit. Jesus, even St. Francis, I now am born again. I was like, wow, born again, that's like powerful. But but it's to be new. It's to be new in the moment, to really experience the Christ in the moment. And to me, that's everything. That's what is the joy we're all experiencing now. It's the Jesus revolution. It's this moment, and we're saying yes now. and now and now and now, and you know, it's like again and again. Yes, yeah. That's it. It's easy.
So as we close, is there, you know, because this is really like an invitation to everyone to join us in the Mystical Christ Academy. Maybe you can talk about when that starts and just share a little bit about that. You know, what's ahead, because I know this pilot course ends on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the pilot course ends. Oh, this is off. Let me use yours. It's on? Okay. And yeah, and then we got, I think, about 2.5 or 3 weeks until the pilot, or till the Mystical Christ Academy starts, and I think that's going to be like our most transformative online program ever, because we've never done anything like this. It feels like we're all kind of like, whoa, what are we gonna? We're just kind of putting it together with prayer, and then praying about a lot of live sessions, and it's like the guidance for it is still coming in, and we're still kind of clueless. Like, okay, this is happening. We can feel it's going to be big, but the Spirit is kind of giving it to us in piecemeal. Like, this is what I want you to do now. This is what I want you to do now. And then starting April 5th, it's going to be a ride. And whoever's on that ride is going to have to hold on tight, because I think we're going to be going like, whoa, going through a lot of deep healings, deep joinings, like live Zoom interactions, and more chosen clips and powerful clips of these teachings and meditations and journaling. I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be quite the ride. So yeah, it feels really exciting to just be part of it. And I kind of like watching it unfold in front of us. Like, yeah, we're just watching it like a movie unfold. Yeah. And then for those of you that just want to really, we're going to have an actual, like an online community that's part of that too. So all the students who are enrolled in the Mystical Christ Academy, just like the ones in the pilot course now, will have a private community where they can discuss the lessons and discuss what we're learning just among themselves and with us as facilitators. But for those of you that just want to get a taste of this now, we have Tribe of Christ, which is an online community for anyone who feels drawn to what we've been talking about tonight. And yeah, you can join even on just a monthly basis to try it out. I think we even have a 10-day free trial or something. And yeah, that's just a great way to start connecting with other people on this path and feeling the synergy. And we're going to start doing live sessions tomorrow night with a dance session. And next week, we're going to have different things happening that, yeah, just so you can feel a connection and start to, yeah, just see what we're offering in a deeper way. So it's big. It's a lot of stuff that just Jesus has been giving us. Jesus, a gospel of love. Hallelujah.
Well, I don't want to forget about the app too, because you know, because I know that's such a simple way to stay connected. Because I love to get those notifications. It's like, oh, okay. You know, this week for me, has been great. Yeah.
Some people might even be watching us right now in the app, because we're live streaming on this new app we created a few months ago called it's LCM. I think it's just called LCM app, which LCM stands for Living Church Ministries. If you go to livingchurchministries.org and then /app, APP, you can see how to download the app. And once you have the app on your phone, if you say yes to notifications, it'll tell you every time we go live like this. And I think we're going to, we go live every week with these music, worship services, and just sharing the kind of stuff we've been sharing here, but with a lot of rock and music as well. I'm in the band with Emily and Zach and Peter and Linda. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff going through the app. We're going to, so yeah, you get a notification if you download the app. But there's a lot happening. Push notifications. Yeah, you get told. I even got one right before we started here. It said LCM going live and David and friends in 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, okay, here we are. It's working. Yeah.
Sometimes when I do the movie setups, people type in the comments, "What is the movie, David? What is like? Do I have to listen for 50 minutes to rant? What is the movie?" And so, for those of you that are watching and go, "What is the website?" the-Christ.net. As we put this in, and they go, "What is it? Where is it? How do I find it?" You know, because some of them are pretty long. Living Miracles, Living Church Ministries.org/app. They're like, am I supposed to remember that? But we go again, one more time. the-Christ.net. So
we'll write a song for that.
Right.
the-Christ.net.
Yeah, that's it. We need a jingle. We need a jingle for that. Because I know
Jesus,
this will be
broadcast.
It'll be up on broadcast on Facebook and everything, and we'll be on YouTube, and they'll be out again tomorrow. What is the website? Okay, we got that it's Jesus, a gospel of love. Yeah, but what is the website? How do we access this? You know, people are kind of practical. You know, they let you know too. What is the movie? And 4 replies. That's it. Oh, it's funny.
Yeah, well, thank you, guys. This was fun.
Yeah, what
lot of
fun.
fun.
What a joy.
Lots of fun.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you again soon.